old to no. I'm jumping ahead. So I think what happened was I went home after that summer was over. I remember taking a bath with my sister, and everything I learned, I tried to demonstrate it on my sister. My mother came in the bathroom and she began to tell me what I was doing wasn't wrong, but then she got distracted and left. So she was never able to finish telling me why I wasn't supposed to do that. I find that very ironic. Uh, from that time on, I remember sleeping on the floor in the living room, and my mother was laying on the couch. She wasn't married. In fact, she hasn't ever been married. She was laying on the couch. In no way am I trying to make my mother sound like a bad person at all. I love her. But, this is my story, and if this is what helps someone get saved, then this is what I have to do. I have to tell the story, in love. So I remember watching my mother have intercourse with my father. That's kind of I don't know, really want to get into it. Anyways, so they're having sex, and I'm watching them the whole time, and I'm learning, and I'm learning all this stuff that they're doing. So maybe about a week or two later, we go stay at one of our friends' house next door to play. He pulls out cigarettes, and we all start smoking cigarettes. By this time, we're about 5 or 6 years old. And guys, I know this is crazy. He's like, yeah, let's play around with the cigarette. So we're literally playing around with cigarettes. And then he starts like dry humping me, and I'm like dry humping him back because I had just learned some stuff, and I was just going along with the ride, I don't mean to laugh, but to be honest, I still can't believe I was doing this stuff at my age. To be honest, there were so many incidents from that time on forth. So by the time I was about 10, this was still continuing. It was not with just little boys, but it was with females, young girls. Anytime I got to stay the night at one of my friends' houses, we were basically fondling with each other or like having sex with each other. I know that sounds cliche or kind of weird to some of you. Like, how can kids have sex? The same way grown-ups have sex, kids can have sex too. This is what we did. This is what we considered fun. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, I went to me and a female went to my quote unquote best friend's house at the time, and he lived upstairs from me, and we were in the room playing. I don't know what happened, but we wound up sitting in a closet. It was me and the one boy and the girl and the other boy. And we're like dry humping each other in the closet. We both had separate sheets over us, I guess, for like privacy. And we're doing this dry humping, and then all of a sudden I just got bold out of nowhere. This is the first time, okay? And I told him to take his pants off. So he took his pants off, and we started having sex, and then I felt this pinch, and I remember saying, ow, that hurts. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. So we kept doing it, and then it hurt some more. So I stopped, and I was like, why? I didn't realize it then until I got older. And I was like, wow, I lost my virginity. I mean, for real, if you want to be serious, I really had lost it way before then, because anything that is like sexual, even if it's masturbation, even if it's what's the word, oral sex, it is not pure. You're not pure anymore because I don't know how to explain it the right way, but we're born into sin. But as kids, I feel I might have to go into the scripture and come back and let you guys know, but I feel like there's kind of like a purity there, when we're virgins, and then once we lose our virginity, once we partake in anything sexual, we lose our virginity. To me, it starts even if we don't have sex with a male, or even if you have sex with a female. A lot of people only think it's when a male and a woman have sex with each other that's the first time that's when you lose your virginity. But I think that it can be even before that. You know, it could be you getting fingered by somebody. Excuse me for being graphic, but to me that's considered losing your virginity too. You know, it's losing that purity that you could have been saving for that one person. So anyways, I feel like I you know, I've been lost my virginity, but like considered to everyone else, I technically lost my virginity. So to be honest, guys, ever since then it was just bam, 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 boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. I remember about 10 and a half. I remember it was my birthday. My mother forgot my birthday. I don't blame it on her. She had a lot of kids, you know. You can easily forget, I guess. I don't know. And I was really mad, and I was like, I'm so sick of this. Nobody loves me. I already started feeling rejected. I had like this spirit of rejection building up because I didn't know my biological father. Just so much that I had went through as a kid. I watched a lot, seen a lot, been through a lot already because of this. And I just remember saying, I want to be a boy. I don't want to be a girl anymore. I hate being a girl. I don't like, you know, I'm sick of everybody. I was walking, saying this to myself as I was walking. Shortly after that, I started to change my clothes. I started wanting to become a basketball player. Not to say that basketball is only for men, you know, that girls shouldn't play it. I was actually a really good basketball player when I was a kid. I played with all the boys. I'm not now, but I was then. I was almost on a basketball team, but we had to move. But for some reason, my mother didn't catch the sign. She used to just be like, oh, Deja's a tomboy. The more and more I heard tomboy, the more and more I heard boy. And the more and more I wanted to be a boy. So, so then, by the time I was about 13 years old, I remember going away from my mother. I didn't want to live with her anymore. I don't remember where she was living at, but I didn't want to live with her. So she sent me to go stay with some of my friends. This was a Christian home too. They were all Christians. We all went to church. But I was having sex with all her daughters almost every night. I'm not putting anybody's names out there, and I know this sounds so crazy, but it's what we did. We just did it every night. It was with all of them. I was always messing with one of them. There was like, I had a favorite one. I don't know, like guys, like literally this stuff is real, and it starts, sometimes it starts early, sometimes it starts later. I'm trying to think. By the time I was about, I'm trying to think. I think it started, I think I stopped once I visited a church. I don't remember exactly what church it was, but I remember going to a church and I started slowly wanting to change. I wanted to stop, but every time I would like get around someone who was like doing the stuff that I was doing, then I slowly went right back to it. And I was kind of like in the middle of wanting to be a girl, wanting to be a boy. I thought girl stuff was pretty, but then I thought boy stuff was easier. Let me think. So then I remember leaving their house. I don't remember where I went after that. I was always back and forth from every different, like living somewhere different. Somebody's house, I was living different. I mean, you know, living at someone's house, or staying with someone. I don't remember, but I remember starting to get addicted to pornography. I don't want to, well, I can't really say addicted. I wanted to watch it, and I would find every opportunity to watch it. So that brought on masturbation. So I started masturbating around 14 or 15, and that just became a huge cycle, or I don't know what you want to call it, but that kind of just didn't stop. I struggled with masturbation for a long time. And a long time, I thought it was okay because it was to me. It wasn't to anyone else. Until I found out that masturbation brings forth, you know, impure thoughts. And impure thoughts give conceived sin. You know, there's a scripture, I think it's in James. Let me see. I know it's in James somewhere. Basically, yeah. So basically that's what it is, and I'm pretty sure you're not masturbating and thinking good things. You're thinking about things that are gonna get you in the mood to do have sex, because you're basically having sex to yourself. And why would God want us to have sex with ourselves? You might not see it that way, but that's basically what it is. So that became a huge, 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 huge problem. Even after I got married, it was a huge problem. And you would think that I'd be, enjoying sexual life with my husband, but trust me, we've been through a whole lot, and that's a whole nother video. So, anyways, guys, I struggled with this lesbianism thing or bisexual thing. So I struggled with this lesbianism thing for quite some time, or bisexual thing for quite some time. From the time I was 4 years old, 5 years old, to the time I was about, I'll say 14, 15. And it wasn't until I met this guy that I